not selling like a physical product. Now, if they're a coach, consultant, healer, or website designer, and they also have a book, that's fine. But I focus mostly on people that are in service-based businesses.
But digital, so it's not like home service providers like lawn care and stuff like that.
I would dip my toe in that one day, but right now, no. My expertise is definitely with online entrepreneurs.
Well, it's good to know that. And the other side of it too is maybe they want to bring in someone that is an online person, and you can kind of coach that person from being a savvy online person, because I think everybody should have some online presence. It's important.
Yeah, I would say like 99% of businesses in this day and age need some kind of online presence.
More so than ever. So when you say lead generation, do you like build out a whole funnel for them, or do you work with them to say, who is your ideal client? Because it always bothers me when I say, who's your customer? And they sell like skin cream or something. It's like, oh, everybody, because everybody's got skin. And I go, no, it'll take you forever to get through all of those people.
Yep. It's like draining. It's like trying to fill Lake Michigan with a water hose. It's possible, but it's going to take too long. Yeah. So I connect with, I have a great funnel designer that I will refer people to, but funnels don't work as well as they used to. There's 7 and 8 figure coaches that are their sales are way down because everybody was trying to everybody's scared of selling. Everybody's been taught, a lot of people have been taught really sleazy ways of selling that they're not comfortable with. And so all these people came in and they're like, all these coaches are like, I'm going to teach you how to sell from just your content. I'm going to teach you how to sell from just a funnel. And it doesn't work for most people. Like you have to have a very large, very warm audience for that to work. So I go back to the basics with people. And you mentioned like ideal client. The way that most people teach ideal client is really dumb. And I resisted it for years because it was basically just creating a fictional character. I created a process that actually helps you know the real things about your target market. And instead of ideal client avatar that's based on fiction, we do a highly qualified lead profile that is actually based on statistics from your own work. Like who you enjoyed working with, who got great results with you. So that's where I start. Even with the people that are already making 10 and 20K months, when they come to me, that's always where we start.
Well, Heather, I got to tell you, that's refreshing, because I'm in 100% agreement with you that a lot of people don't realize that this internet thing is dynamic and always changing.
Yes.
So anybody that's trying to teach you these systems, they're there and then they're not. Remember, people were doing solo ads for make money online, and pretty soon that got real incestual, and it starts churning the same people through it. And it's like that eventually doesn't work. And even right now, the SEO thing, search engine optimization, used to be a thing, but now with AI, it's a new story, isn't it?
It very much is. So I have a friend who she's still doing really well with health coaches. She's a friend and she's done an intensive with me. She wasn't a long-term client, but she helps health coaches with SEO on their blogs, and she's still doing pretty well. But I know she's got to be eyeing the AI search engine thing, because it's a slightly different game. And you mentioned about updates. It's the updates to the online industry drive me effing insane.
Exactly. Like, I just figured this out. Now you changed it.
Yeah. And you have to be careful when you're hiring people, which I've written 2 books about consumer guides for the online coaching and online business world to help people make better, to maybe help them to understand like how to spot a quality coach or a quality business partner or whatever, so that they can, and the caveat is somebody might be a great coach, but they're not the right coach for you. And you're not going to get results unless you're working with who's the right coach for you, right? So there's 2 books out there. The better one, the first one's very ranty. The better one is What Every Entrepreneur Wishes They'd Known Before Hiring a Business Coach. And I can give Brad the links for that. Everybody who's read it said it would have saved them thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars. And why did I get on that tangent? Oh, you want to make sure that the person you're learning from, I had somebody come through my free mini course a couple of weeks ago, and she's brilliant. She actually knows her highly qualified lead profile in and out, but she's using a strategy that was really good in 2017, but it's 2025 and it's not going to work. And I think somebody charged her, my gut says somebody charged her 10 to 20 grand for this strategy. So she's very attached to it, but she hasn't made sales in 6 months. So you want to make sure that you're doing what works now, not what worked last year, definitely not what worked 5 years ago.
Well, that's kind of where I go. I try and keep things like, my background is in the event industry. Whereas if I get to an event and I'm talking to the person, I know that they're not a bot.
Right.
Got to find out if they have a credit card, if they want to pay cash.
Right.
And then another thing that some people think is it's numbers. You got to get big numbers. You got to have 20,000 people. But if you're trying to sell hamburgers and hot dogs to vegans and vegetarians, the numbers are irrelevant. You got to get that alignment. And then there's the timing. Do they want a hamburger? A lot of people, I kind of blame sometimes the coaches. So again, that's why I think it's refreshing talking to you, because you have a different take on it rather than coaching somebody on, we're going to get you into this funnel building software and it only costs this much. And that's kind of what they're doing. And now, like you said, the funnels are kind of obsolete, even though a lot of the tools in the systems kind of still work, but it's a different world now.
It is. And this is a lot of what I talk about in my books. I have been sounding the alarm about unethical business practices in the coaching world since 2013. In the last couple of years, people have started to acknowledge this, but for years I was told that I was just being negative and I was gaslit and blah blah blah, because nobody wanted to believe it. But I mean, I spent $14,000 on business coaching and programs with some big names before I started making high ticket sales. And I finally got a one-to-one coach who actually gave a damn, and who actually, was willing to hold my hand a little bit. And that's what it took. Right. But yeah, I wouldn't say funnels are completely dead. They're just kind of on life support. So
the concept of a funnel still works. You reach
yes.
the big thing and you kind of work it down until they're ready to buy something. But the softwares and the methods of doing things, you got to be on all these social media platforms. Some of those social media platforms don't want that stuff on there. So then they ghost it or whatever they call it.
Shadow ban. Yeah. So what I teach my clients is we want them to build a funnel. And this is one of the things that really sets me apart from other business coaches as well. I know my zones of genius and I know my zones of idiocy. And if something is not in my zone of genius, even if it's something that I'm okay at in my own business, but if I don't feel 100% confident I'm the person to teach you that, I will refer you to somebody else or bring in a collab partner and say, okay, we've, got your messaging, we've got your offer suite, set up and everything. Now you need to go work with Shenna and get your funnel built. Because I do believe that automation has a place. But the problem is people were trying to sell solely with automation, and it worked for a long time, but people have been so burned. There are people, I've heard multiple stories of people who have spent over $100,000. I've spent over $100,000 just on business coaching. That doesn't count health coaching, spiritual coaching, personal, all kinds of stuff. Just in business, there are people that have gone bankrupt and never gotten their business off the ground, even though they invested high ticket, because the truth is a lot of the business coaches out there have no idea what they're doing. And so people have been burned, and now you can't sell impersonally anymore. You need to be building real relationships with people. But if you don't know how to do that in a streamlined way that allows you to be authentic, that allows you, to create a way that feels good to you, but that also doesn't waste your time, helps you to identify your good leads quickly, you'll burn out doing that as well. So
that's why I like video like this, because we can see each other and get to know each other. And someone might look at me or look at you and go, you know what, I just don't like that person. Or else someone might say, oh, they got a great sense of humor. They're all happy and positive. I like that person. I like your funky hat. So I'm gonna work with Heather because she's got a funky hat on. But
Heather has dirty hair. So
don't tell, it's a secret. But I'm totally in agreement with you. That kind of thing of automation, it can be good. Like an example is a thing that I use. I use direct mail postcards.
Oh, nice.
And then sometimes put QR codes and stuff on them.
Mm-hmm.
I can automate these. And I used to use postcards when I was booking my magic gigs full time. And I use software pre-internet. I used to stamp them myself and mail them out, bring them to the post office. But then when I found a software to be able to set up a campaign to drop a card once a month in front of these event planners' faces, that kept me top of mind. But I made sure that the cards didn't have anything that was time sensitive on it. I wouldn't in the loop put happy holidays, because if they get it in August, they're going to go, you're an idiot. So I'd make sure that it was was automation friendly, and some people don't do that. They just think, I'll just put them in this automated sequence. And I'm still guilty of it. Sometimes I'll put a little tag. If someone clicks this link, it hooks them up to an automation, and now they're in it. But whoops, I didn't want that person in that automation. They already bought. Now they're in the thing again. And why are you sending me this stuff? I already bought your product.
Right. Yeah. Well, and that I like that's a good topic. That's something that I have uh I got repeat clients. I've gotten repeat clients before. But I realized that like that's really what you want, especially because I only work with the people that the money is almost secondary. Like they are 51% in it because it's their soul's mission to like help people heal, help people achieve things, or if they're in business support, like graphic designer, web designer, like they really recognize the value of healing and coaching and consulting, and they want to contribute to that. Right? Those are the people I work with, and my brain just went left. Where were you going with that, Heather? Oh, repeat clients. So I realized like these type of people, we're not in this to be business people. We're in this to make an impact. And the best way to do that is to have an offer suite, have, a funnel set up with personalized touches in it, and to focus on serving people so powerfully that they ask you how they can keep working with you.
Yep.
And to really, foster those relationships and not create dependencies. There's a lot of coaches and healers that will try to create dependency, like make you feel like you're never going to get anywhere if you don't keep working with them, right? That's gross. But there are ways to ethically, keep creating value and serve them so powerfully that they can't wait to come back, and they give you referrals. And that's when your business gets to be really a lot easier. So that's what I focus on. Like the whole from designing that highly qualified lead profile, through the offer suite, through the way you nurture people, through the way you sell to them, to the way you serve them, all is set up with the end result, not of you getting a sale, not of them getting a result, but of them getting such a great result that they come back and you make more sales.
That's kind of what I've said too before with certain coaches that are talking, the make money online niche, that I'm not so much anymore. I like working with products that are not necessarily, to me, the whole make money online thing is I'm going to coach you how to make money so you can coach other people how to make money. And it gets, again, ancestral like that.
Yep.
Well, I don't like that. It's kind of like, okay, if your system really works, why don't you just give it to me, teach me how to use it, and I'll split it 50-50 with you? Why am I paying you a coaching fee? So that's why I call them on that. But I don't mind paying like with Claude. I didn't mind paying his coaching fee because I'm learning some good stuff in it, and it's knowledge that I can keep forever.
Right.
That was great. His thing that he did with the a la carte as opposed to the sponsorship of the bronze, silver, gold thing.
Yes.
I've always struggled with that. I've done it myself where I said, I'd like to have this thing, but I want that thing in there, but I don't want to spend that much money. And then you say, it's too complicated. I quit.
And that's so for everybody watching, Claude is Claude Haggerty. He teaches people how to get sponsorships, and Brad and I met in his course, and it's amazing. And one of the great things is that it reminded me of some basics about sales. One of the things I really liked about Claude is he is very high integrity and very like, let's make a win-win-win. And I imagine Brad has a very similar philosophy. But yeah, I was talking about pricing structure and how to create value that people can see, and they can kind of customize the packages and everything. And it's brilliant. I need to thank you for reminding me about that, because I need to incorporate that into my programs. Yeah.
And he's also helping a little bit with the psychology of sales. And that's important, because if a person is got these options and they buy it and they like it, then it's really not sleazy sales. It's just providing something at a good price and they're willing to pay for it. And
Absolutely.
you don't have to try, like the timeshare salesman that uses neuro-linguistic programming and a pina colada to get you to sign on the dotted line.
Exactly. And when I was researching my first book, I was just pissed. I was so mad about all the scammers in the coaching industry. And it was hard for me to get my business off the ground because I wasn't willing to tell people they were going to make 20 grand in 30 days. I was just not going to lie to people. Like, it's very rare that that happens. And so I'm researching and I'm writing this book, and I realized that most of the most disgusting things that you see in online sales and marketing, and specifically in the coaching industry, is the what I call it, like the dark side of NLP. NLP is a beautiful, amazing, transformational modality when used consensually, but when it's used in marketing and sales, and they're like dysregulating your nervous system to the point that I used to get off webinars like shaking. And like I was a drug addict in my 20s, and I had to go through recovery in my 30s, and then I got hooked on webinars. And I would get on, just be like, okay, I'm going to get some information. Well, first off, there was hardly any information, but secondly, I by the end of it, I was like just torn up because I couldn't afford this thing that they were telling me that I needed, you know.
Right.
Um, so I've come to learn a lot about NLP and the negative uses of NLP and how effective it is on trauma survivors, which so many people in the online industry, especially coaches and healers, are trauma survivors. So
Well, it's good to hear that you see the dark side and the light side of NLP, because it can be a good thing, but it can be very manipulative. I remember going to a real estate type seminar, and my friend was going to it, and he said, "I'm not going to buy anything." I said, "Don't leave your credit cards at home." He said, "I'm not going to buy anything." And he brought his credit cards with him, and they had a program in there. One of the things, the seminars to go to, is how to get your credit limit from 3,000 to 5,000. So we went to that thinking, "Oh, that's kind of interesting how to do that." Well, the reason they're doing it is because they had a whole suitcase full of CDs at $4,997.97. And he bought it. Yeah, I don't like it when it's done unethically like that.
No, and I mean, to be clear, like, I have had a lot of really great coaches. I say that therapy and therapy saved my life. Purpose driven, keywords, purpose driven coaches and healers help me make it worth living. But I've invested with a lot of people that used NLP not only in their sales and marketing, but were very manipulative and emotionally and mentally abusive. And there's a lot of things that I barely got anything out
I
of.
think it can be used if you don't get into greed and gluttony. If you
Exactly.
use NLP techniques to persuade someone, instead of neuro-linguistic programming, it's neuro-linguistic persuasion. And if you do it with good intentions, and you're not trying to gouge them, then I think that's okay, helping someone buy something and get into a space.
Yeah, so I agree with you mostly. So I don't even like persuasion. The way that I sell my entire offer suite, and this is what I teach people and help them create, is set up to filter. It's set up to draw in more of the right people. So I kind of liken it to, you don't want to get a haystack, especially not a big haystack, because then you're going to lose the few needles in that haystack because you don't have the time to nurture all those people, right? So my whole thing is to attract a whole lot more needles and a lot less hay. And then so instead of trying to get 100 people into my mini course, I want 20, because all of those people are also going to get interaction with me, and that interaction is going to build the relationship faster, build the trust. We'll see if they were the right fit, and it also shows me how serious they are. So my whole thing is about filtering to find the people that are ready, that are willing, that are going to do the work, that are going to be a joy to work with. And in that process, it just becomes very obvious, like, whether they should work with me at all, whether they should work with me now, or maybe they need a little more time. So I don't even do persuasion. I don't think the way that you're talking about it is unethical at all. But yeah, I draw the line.
I do like your idea of more needles than hay. That makes a lot of sense. There's not a real, and I don't know why you'd want to have so much hay when you're looking for needles.
Exactly. Especially,
I hope people understand we're talking about the needle in the haystack thing.
Yeah. Needle in the haystack, and yeah, like, you don't want this big pile. Like, you want to have, you're going to have some hay. You're going to have people show up. Even this is the thing that gets me about the people who are like, "Oh, you're just going to sell from your content." You can have the best content in the world, and still there's going to be some hay that gets in, because people don't know what they don't know. So they're reading your content. It looks very plain to you who you're looking for, but they don't know what they don't know. And so they think they're qualified. This is why I won't sell to someone without having a call with them, whether it is a consultation call to, see if they want to buy something, or if it's just a part of my offer suite where they're getting like a 15-minute intensive or a 90-minute intensive, because I want to make sure they're actually the right fit. I do not want your money if you are not ready, if you don't have the right foundations, if you're not going to be a joy in my life.
Sure. Or if it's somebody that's in desperation mode and that's why they're going to spend their last dollar and they're not going to feed their kids.
Right. Or, maybe it's not so serious that they can't feed their children, but this is something that I teach my clients and something that I definitely do. And another reason why you actually want to talk to your leads, not just sell to them from a sales page, you need to manage their expectations, because even if you don't do overhyped bro marketing, boss babe BS, they've seen that. So even though they haven't seen it in your marketing, they still may have this idea that they're going to sign up with you and they're going to lose 30 pounds in 6 seconds, or they're going to be a millionaire, in the next week. And so I always have very frank conversations like, this is what, I've vetted you. I know where you are in your business. This is what I think is possible. And here's what's probable. And here's how much work, what that's going to look like to get that. And still, I make sure they understand I can't make any guarantees. I can't control the economy. I can't control, all these things. So that's another big thing that makes how I sell differently and how I teach sales very differently.
Well, wow, it's already 23 minutes. I don't know where it went, but I think it was because we were having fun. I really like your philosophy, and it's refreshing, because most of the coaching I see, I just like, oh, it just hurts.
Yeah, me too.
It's good that you said that it's kind of turning around. You see it turning around a little bit, where people are realizing that that's not the way to play.
You're seeing more posts where people are like, this person ripped me off, or I'm sick of this, I'm sick of that. The problem is that now, and the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission, we finally caught their attention. They are sick to death of all the consumer complaints. And so they've been quietly going after some of the big names, and Enix and Gall got hit for like $14 million, $15 million, something like that. And he created a course about FTC compliance. And for any of you guys that are watching outside of the US, doesn't matter if you're not in the US. If you sell to people in the US, you have to comply with FTC guidelines. And a lot of that will clean up some of the unethical stuff, but not all of it. There's still ways to be shady and still be FTC compliant. So we have that going on. And, the tide is turning. People are no longer falling for, oh, well, if you took my $10,000 mastermind and you didn't get ROI, even though you showed up and you did everything I told you to, oh, it's because your mindset's bad. Here's a $20,000 program to fix your mindset. And there's no accountability for the coach. And it's like, if 80% of your students or clients are not getting results, the problem is you. The problem is your program. It's not the clients. But that was the narcissistic manipulation that we were dealing with for the first 20 years of the coaching industry. Sure. And now it's not working as well as before. But what's funny and disgusting is that you're seeing some of the worst abusers turn around and talk about how they are ethical. And they're calling out stuff that they themselves have done, which is it's a common narcissistic thing as they project. But yeah, it's really gross. I'm seeing a lot of people talk about ethical business that I know are not ethical. And I'm like, I've been ethical since 2013. I mean, I was ethical before that, but that's when I started like calling it out.
There's also the thing about forgive them for they know not what they do. Someone that doesn't know that they're being unethical because they think that it's okay. I mean, you run into that with people that are tricking people in the magic world. They are tricking people and they're not entertaining people. And they're maybe doing some damage by making someone feel stupid because they got tricked. So you have to make sure that you're entertaining them as opposed to making them a quick story. Then I got to put you in the green room and we can talk a little bit. But there's this one magic trick where you throw these paper balls over their head. Mm-hmm. The audience sees it as funny, but the person you're doing it to doesn't know that you're throwing them over their head, and they get fooled.
Okay.
You got to be careful with that, because I did that to my girlfriend once. She said, do some magic for these guys. And I did that trick to an old girlfriend, and she was angry. Mm. She made me walk home.
Oh no. Well, and that definitely is there's one of the things that I found, and I bet you're going to see a parallel with this, is that sociopaths and narcissists are very, very, very attracted to the coaching, consulting, online business world because it allows them to get followers and people they can control, and they get that narcissistic supply, that worship from people. And they are very good at marketing and sales because they are very charismatic and they have no conscience. They will say or do anything to get the sale. And, I had one coach like this, and she would talk about, I have a 90% close rate. I have a 90% close rate. Well, she didn't tell us everything she was doing to get that 90% close rate. And what she was doing to have a 90% close rate was absolutely manipulative, just disgusting, underhanded, crazy stuff that most of us would never be comfortable doing. But then she would lord that over as she was better than us because she had a better sales rate. It wasn't because she was a better seller. She was just less ethical.
Yeah, they're out there. So people, be careful.
Get my book.
I'm going to put this up here again. If you want to find Heather, it's right here at heatherwylde.com. That's WYLDE. Is there anything on your website that you can offer people, or something that's in the works that they should sign up for to check out?
My website's a wreck. So right now that's going to take you to my blog, and but I will give you some links. I do have a free mini course. It is actual information. It's like 98% information, only 2% pitch, telling you how you can go further with me. And it's all about how to find how to get more needles than straw, how to attract more highly qualified leads so that you're not wasting your life on leads that aren't qualified is the basic thing. Yeah.
But essentially, they can contact you here at heatherwylde.com, right?
Yeah, well, let me give you some links because I don't know if my website's a wreck, but it's the Fast Yes mini course, and I'll come back behind all this and put in links so that they can go check that out.
Yeah, perfecto. Yeah. Okay, if you want to stick around, we can chat for a little bit. Other than that, I'm going to sign this one off.
Thank you.
That was it. That's Heather Wylde right there, and this is her. And I guess you can, she's working on her website, but you can still get a hold of her if you want to try to contact her. So that's all I got for you. I appreciate you being present here at Synergy Cafe. It's another good day. So peace, love, and happiness. Enjoy the rest of your day. Be good, be kind, be nice. Did I say be nice? Yes, I did. Be nice. See you. Bye.